So James Carville comes out and, he's one of those Democrats he hasn't gone woke.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like annoyingly sanctimonious and lecturing us all the time. And he is pretty good at diagnosing what problems the Democrats are facing.
Mm-hmm.
And he posted the following on his YouTube show the other day. Watch this.
I've been very vocal about this. It's horrifying. Our numbers among younger voters, particularly younger blacks, younger Latinos, or whatever, but whatever younger, I don't like younger people of color, particularly males. We're not shedding them. They're leaving in the droves.
Okay, so he doesn't spit it out as articulately as perhaps we'd like, but he's not wrong, right? The younger voters, the men in particular, are leaving. White, black, Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not directly related to Barbie, but it's kind of all part of the same problem.
What do you think it is, particularly with the Democrats and their messaging right now?
I think they're sanctimonious lecturing, scolding.
Mm-hmm.
Men are bad. I mean, that's really like, what man wants to watch Ken and hear that messaging? Like, who gets a kick out of that? And I think it's also, like, we were looking at the podcast numbers the other day, Maureen, and our show's doing great. Thank God. Thank God. And thanks to all of you. But you look at like Joe Rogan.
Right.
He's a monster. His downloads are like in the, I don't know, several double-digit millions. And everybody else is way below.
Right.
But most of the top podcasters are men who are speaking to these guys who feel disaffected, rejected, blamed for everything. They're the scourge of everything. Like Jordan Peterson is very popular, I think, for the same reason. And I do think it is mostly leftist women who are pushing this message. Conservative women, they're not out there bashing men at every turn.
Yeah.
It's like these Upper West Side liberals who are like, down with the patriarchy.
Yeah.
It's not to say, you and I've talked many times, it's not to say that women don't have real problems.
Right.
That we've cleaned up all work environments and that we have all the same advantages, perfectly equal. We don't. There's definitely some more work to be done, but we've overcorrected in some areas.
Yeah.
To now where the message is just assume men are the problem. Yeah. Just assume your boy's not getting into college because he's a boy.
Yeah.
And never mind if he's a white boy.
Yeah.
And I think they're feeling it. They're feeling it across all age groups.
I remember having this conversation with you. I don't remember if it was on air or not, but I was talking about one of my best friends who she and her family left Brooklyn several years ago for New Jersey. And she said, I am not going to have my son, educated in a system that tells him because he is a young, white, blonde, blue-eyed, straight male that he is the problem. And I thought, wow, like to identify that so early and to know that that is what's coming down the pike for him. And I think you're right. I think there is, and it's akin to what we were talking about earlier, where as women, we sometimes feel, when it comes to something like the trans issue, if we speak up about it, we're bigots, we're transphobes. I've been called every name in the book. I'm sure you have too. And I feel like for men, it must be this silent majority of like, but we're not the problem. Why don't we get to be men? Why even, there was just an amazing story I was reading about the rise in blue collar work and the push for more vocational schools. Instead of this constant push down the line for a higher education for 4-year college or university. And those jobs will never be going away. As we've seen in America, all too recently, our infrastructure is crumbling. And yet this is not a cohort that the Democrats want to talk to anymore. They're not talking to them. They're not talking at them. They're just bypassing them. And I think that's exactly who James Carville is talking about. And also when it comes to shedding Blacks, Latinos, like let's talk about the anti-cop movement. Let's talk about the soft on crime movement. Who is that hurting the most? That's hurting young, poor, dispossessed Blacks and Latinos the most.
Look at The View. The other day, let's pull this soundbite over, guys. Whoopi Goldberg was angry when Alyssa Farah, who's the sort of conservative on the show.
Token conservative.
Yeah. Alyssa pointed out that Trump went to the funeral of Officer Diller.
Yes.
On Long Island, and Joe Biden went to a podcast.
Yes.
And look at Whoopi Goldberg's reaction to Trump doing that while Biden was out, getting more campaign donations and promoting himself on that podcast. Look at this.
This past week, he had a brief good political moment for a Republican. He attended a slain NYPD officer's funeral to juxtapose, what he was framing as Biden hobnobbing with celebrities. Choose what you like there, but for Republicans, it was good imagery.
Really?
One day later, yes.
And I'm asking that because I was so offended. Because you know who showed up. Yeah. And he was, whether he was asked or not. This is a man who didn't care what happened to the officers on January 6th.
Okay. She promotes Joe Biden and Kamala Harris every day on that show. Kamala Harris called Jacob Blake a hero. Kamala Harris was getting involved on the side of the rebel rousers, the accused criminals during the BLM riots. That Jacob Blake pulled a knife on cops. It was admitted on her network, ABC, in an interview with Michael Strahan. They can't tolerate a moment of a politician paying his respects to a fallen cop because Trump wasn't supportive enough of the cops who were, yes, in danger on J 6th. How does that explain their behavior on a daily basis toward Harris, toward Biden, toward AOC, toward all of the left, including their own show, Sunny Hostin, who supported the BLM riots, endangering and hurting thousands of cops, thousands of them. The hypocrisy is rank. Let me tell you a story about a guy named Leo Grillo. Leo was on a road trip and came across a Doberman. This dog was severely underweight and clearly in trouble. Well, Leo rescued the dog and named him Delta. Sadly, Delta was just one of many animals that need help. And this inspired Leo to start Delta Rescue, the largest no-kill, care-for-life animal sanctuary in the world. They have rescued thousands of dogs, cats, and horses from the wilderness, and they provide their animals with shelter, love, safety, a home. April marks 45 years since Leo rescued Delta. Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions to do what it does. And if you would like caring for these animals to be part of your legacy, speak with your estate planner because there are tax benefits to helping. You can grow your estate while letting your love for animals live well into the future. Check out the estate planning tab on their website to learn more and speak with your advisor. We call dog man's best friend for a reason. You can help those who need it most. Visit deltarescue.org today to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.